Hey guys, so everybody always asks me about like being black in Japan. Um like I said in like a previous video is being black kind of anywhere is it's based off of you kind of, if you want to say, or your surroundings or people around you and so forth. If you grew up near like a bunch of like nice people or good people and everybody played with each other, nobody had that kind of like fear of like black people or like anything like along those lines, then you probably did good. I mean, I didn't grow up with any of that, but I mean, like, I majority of people that I hung out with while I was growing up was probably like black or Hispanic, because that's the kind of neighborhood I lived in. Not too many white people in my neighborhood, if I'm correct, and we had like one Asian guy, but but besides that, like like it all depends on people, and then besides people, it depends on the people around you, like your surroundings, your neighborhoods, your so and so forth. And then besides that, it also depends on like looks, because also that's like something else. If you're if you're black but you're good looking, then maybe they're like, oh, okay, well, at least he's good looking or whatever. At least she's good looking. But then, like, if you're black but they don't think you're good looking, then maybe it's just like, oh, like he's black or she's black, but then she's not even good looking. So like, it's just like that much worse, I guess. But anyway, being black in Japan for me, I don't think I've had too many problems. Like, there's certain things I've noticed when I'm going walking, or sometimes depending on the person. And maybe since I go walking every night, maybe it's because maybe they've seen me before walking or something. The first time around, majority of people, I think they're scared. So I don't walk at a particular time, so it can range from like when I get out of school from like 3:30, which is more like daylight, to like starting walking at like 8, just because I finished doing something and now I'm thinking like, oh well, let's go walking right now. But sometimes when I'm walking, like even in the daytime, some people like they probably won't notice me, I guess, or like it catches them off guard. But like we're walking, I'm walking this way, they're walking that way, and then like they notice me like when they get here, and they're like, whoa, whoa, and then they're probably like go to the side, because like I guess they like, what happened there? Like, is this real, or like is he really black, or what's going on here? Like, where did he come from? I think it's getting better, but then I don't know. When I feel like it's getting better, then something happens and I'm not, like the other day. Now Japan is full of like small roads, so like my neighborhood has a lot of small like just roads, like just. I mean, I don't really like them because it's just like somebody's trying to come this way and you're trying to go that way while driving. It's just like, really, like where are we supposed to go? Sometimes you have to back like all the way back, just to let the other person go by, because that's the only like kind of intersection or like path where you can kind of like pass each other. But like there's this bridge, and then I'm coming here, so I see this guy walking, so I'm like, okay, well, let me just stay here and wait for him so that he could just come to this intersection, because I don't want to make, if I start going, then he's gonna have to get in the grass, and that's messed up. Like I don't want to do that to anybody, because I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me. And I base my whole life off fairness. Like everything has to be fair. Like, but anyway, uh, so I'm like, okay, I'll just wait right here, and then he could just come right here. So he's walking, and then he stops like before he gets to the intersection, and then he just stares at me, and I'm just like, and I'm looking at him because I'm just like, are you gonna go? Like, are you gonna come to the intersection, or like, what do you want me to do? And then he's just staring at me, and I'm just like, I don't understand what this means. And then I'm just like, oh, like you can come, and then he just sits there and stares, and I'm just like, so what is going on? Does he want me to just pass him on a small street? And I'm just like, we're just looking at each other, and I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, he's not doing anything else, but he's just staring, and I'm just like, I guess he just wants me to pass him, so I just pass him, and then he starts walking again. But then, like, in my head, I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, if, like, I waited, like, to be nice to let you, like, come to this little intersection, and then I pass. But then I didn't know if he was, I don't know, like mad that I was on the street to begin with or what. But I was just like, I didn't understand, like what's going on here? Like, I didn't understand why he was literally right next to the intersection. Walk a little bit more, he could have been right there, and I could have passed. But I don't know. I'm there. I consider myself very nice, and sometimes I feel like, especially being in Japan, I've noticed, because I mean, like, I didn't really have to deal with like any of this stuff back in America. Like I said, like about like being stopped by the police, like the first few times, I've actually never been stopped based off of like kind of, I don't know. I didn't know what it, maybe like prejudice, racism, whatever. Like it's never really happened to me ever in my life. Majority of the people around me, or maybe in terms, I was always lucky that it's never been any case like that with me, ever, until like I came to Japan this second time. But then like being the only black person here, like obviously everything, I kind of like noticed that there's something like there's something different. Like he literally could have just like walked right here, but like he was mad about it, or something. Like I don't really know, because I don't, nobody says anything. That's another problem too, is like people, majority of people stare at me but they won't say anything. So I've noticed generally, because I've talked to a few Japanese people about it, that it can range from a lot of different things. The one thing is that a lot of Japanese people see like black people in movies, and you know, like one guy, he was telling me, you know, he's just like, it's always like, and I'm just like, but I mean, like, it's something that you already know. And then I've had somebody else tell me about that too, like, she's kind of like a, not to be mean, but maybe the reason why it's hard for you to make Japanese friends, or for you to get along with Japanese people, is probably because of movies and so forth, and how black people are always kind of scary in like Hollywood films or whatever. And I'm just like, well, like, it's, I mean, everybody, it's something that everybody knows if they are black to begin with, that when you go to other countries, I mean, even being in your own country, that you may experience these kind of things anyway. But like, I guess I've never been out of my element where I'm like the only one. So like, I feel it more because I am the only one, especially in my neighborhood. There's like no other black person like in my in my house. I'm the only one. So I feel it more, and like I notice some things. Besides that, like I started playing. I was playing Pokemon here too. So like, I have a raid group. So we go around and we do raids, and they're all Japanese. Obviously, I'm the only foreigner. So I wouldn't even say I'm like the only black guy, because there's no other foreigners but me. But like, they really like man, they love me. So we always have fun together. We go out and we eat dinner together sometimes. So like, I know it's kind of like, it depends on people. There are some that like really, really enjoy me. Like, I haven't had a problem with anybody in my raid group or anything like that. Like, everybody loves me. They're always trying to talk to me, and so forth. And we talk on like Line and so forth, all the time. But like, then there's like just random people that I meet, like some of the kids that I don't teach with, that are probably scared of me. Then I got the random kids that I've never taught before that's trying to talk to me about penis sizes and whatever. And then I got, you know, just like, yeah, I don't know, some people that, oh, actually they don't care. It's just like whatever. But besides that, I mean, there's a few things that happen to people. It could be a foreigner thing, or it could just be a black thing. But like, there's like taking a train. Like, if I sit down somewhere, majority of times, nobody's gonna sit next to me. Nobody. Tokyo may be a little different, but like, majority of the time, you can't even find a seat in like Tokyo. But like, going towards Tokyo, and maybe depending on whatever you live in to begin with, it changes. So for me, like, coming from where I live, not too many people would like just generally just walk in and just sit next to me. And they'll probably walk in, and then it's like, oh, like, who is he? And then I probably sit like across from me or like over there because they're scared. I think I had one time I sat down next to this guy, and then he got up and he went to go sit somewhere else, and I was just like, okay, like I mean, I can't really do anything about that. But yeah, that was actually the first time that ever happened to me. He like, I literally just sat down just because I think no, I walked the whole day. Like, I think it was after like me and Charlotte went somewhere or something like that. And then I got on the train, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sit down." Usually I don't. Sometimes I just stand around it because I'm always listening to music, and I'm probably like mumbling some kind of like words and singing. But I literally just sat down, and he got up, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I thought he was leaving, like I thought he was getting off the train, and then he just went to go sit somewhere else. I'm just like, oh, I was like, wow, that is a first. I was like, nobody's ever done that to me before. I've had people like not sit next to me. I've had people that don't care. I had, that they'll stand in front of me, they'll do whatever, just like other people. Then I've had people that just, I mean, they just don't want to be around me, I guess, but like, so they'll just sit somewhere else. But like, he like, I sat down, he got up and sat somewhere else. I was like, wow, like that is different. So like, I encounter like a lot of different things like that. I've never had anything like, I had a friend one time who said she went to a restaurant in Tokyo, and I guess they didn't want to, the waiter or whatever didn't want to serve her. And she was with her Japanese boyfriend at the time, who is now her husband. But like, he didn't want to serve her, and I guess it was like her boyfriend got mad. Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't want to serve her or whatever? But like, I've never experienced anything like that. Like, that's big, and I probably get. I'm not an angry person, but I think if somebody like did something to me like that, I think I'd get very angry. Like, when the cops stopped me, I was very frustrated because I didn't understand, and I even asked like, well, like why? Like, do you only do it to like foreigners, or is it only black people, or what? And then he's like, no, it's everybody. But then it was just like, but I just saw you pass like a group of Japanese people. You didn't say anything. And then after you like ask me these questions, then there's a Japanese guy that's playing his music loud, and you tell him to turn it down, and he turns it up, and then you just drive off. Like, you don't even say anything else after that. Like, like, already that seems like it backfired in your face, because you're like stopping me, but then like somebody does something that you don't want them to do, and they do it like that much more, and then you just drive off. Like, obviously that says that you weren't really doing that to anybody else but me, but you just didn't want to tell me that to my face. But then, there's just that stuff, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I was like, because my whole thing is about, I'm here to like learn the language, learn more about the culture, and just like, and for me, I'm just all about just enjoying my life and what's going on around me. So I'm always looking for like nice people to hang out with. It doesn't work too much being in Japan, but that's like another story. But that's all I want. I just want positivity. So I'm trying hard not to look at the negative things that go on in life, or like that like come around me. But being black in Japan, majority of Japanese people, they base majority of their logic off of you, probably off of like Hollywood movies. So their first probably interpretation of you, if they're those kind of people, is probably going to be like, oh, I'm gonna have to see how this person is, because like I don't really know. Or it's like they probably think like, I mean, because I've had people that tell me like, oh, like I would have thought you would have had a lot of Japanese friends because you're so good looking, or because you're so smart, and like all these other things. And then I'm thinking in my head, but like, if you're so good looking, I'm sure that only implies that they want to have probably like sex with you or something. But I don't think that implies like they're trying to be your friend or whatever. But I'm like, okay, that's like a different like notion. But yeah, like they'll tell me stuff like that, like, huh. But then they kind of do the same thing, like we're talking for some time, and then they kind of like disappear. But it's just like, I don't know, being a foreigner in general, I guess is like already hard in itself, but then like if people already view you as being scary because you're black or whatever, then it's like that much harder to even break the ice with different people. But based off of like rudeness and all that, I don't have too much of that. And like I said, the majority of my raid group loves me. I meet people that like me that could be based off of, well, based off of because they think I'm handsome or hot or whatever, in that sort of sense. So like I said, everything, like even being in Japan, everything goes based off of, besides how you look and your race, it goes off of like if you look good, if you're like nice, if they can, if you have enough Japanese friends to back up that, okay, you seem like a type of person that I could hang with, then maybe that'll also get you more Japanese friends or more like leeway with Japanese people. But it is like anywhere, it's an ongoing struggle for black people to do anything in life. But you know, I always just try to look toward like being happy and like hopefully one day meeting like those cool people that I can hang out with or do things with. And like as long as I'm looking towards being happy, then like, you know, just try to push out all the negativity. And like the guy who didn't want to let me pass or whatever, or he wanted me to pass him or whatever, and he just stood there and he didn't say anything. Like he could have just said like, oh, could you pass or whatever, you know. But like, I mean, that kind of stuff I'm trying not to look to like toward, because I did it for some time when I first got here. Like, why is this and why is that and why is that? Well, no, not the first time, because the first time was actually a lot better. But I mean, the first time I came here, I was surrounded more by like other foreigners or other people that came from different international universities because I went to an international school. Compared to this time, I came here and I'm like alone. Nobody's here. Like no other teacher is next to me. I'm like by myself. So I do everything by myself. So I had to like learn. I mean, I learned how to survive by myself before when I lived here, but like I still had others around me that I could talk to about things like real quick. Not saying I can't talk to like Charlotte or whatever, but like, you know, like I had a next door neighbor who was from that we came together during that time. So like we would talk to each other and like that, like right next door and stuff like that. And you know, that's when I met Charlotte and them. So like all that stuff together, like it made it kind of easier compared to like this time. I'm just like, well, I just came here alone, so like it wasn't hard, but at the same time, like you notice more because you're like the only person. If you walk down the street or whatever, but you're with other foreigners, you don't really think about the people staring at you. You don't, because you're probably enjoying yourself, having fun with other people. But like me, like I live next to like, you know, like malls and stuff like that. Like if I go to a mall, I'm the only one with like, you know, hundreds of Japanese people. So I know everybody's staring at me and I'm just like, oh, you know, why did I come to the mall on a Saturday? You know, stuff like that. But, you know, like, besides that, like other times, like when I'm with my raid group and all that and we're having fun, like just because I'm with somebody else, I don't feel like I'm alienated, I guess. But like if I'm alone, then I guess there's that sense of like, you know, like, oh, he's staring at me, she's staring at me, whatever. But like when I'm at school, since the kids love me or whatever, I don't have that problem with them. And then when I'm just around like my raid group, you know, I hope like from now I can actually meet more Japanese people that I can like get along with and talk to. But like, I mean, it all depends on people and the different ways to meet them. It's just hard to meet good people these days to begin with. So like, I mean, if there's just so much that you have to deal with all that. So it's going to be a struggle, but you know, I'm just going to try to do my best. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have about being black in Japan. If anything else ever happens or whatever, I'll let you guys know about it. But like besides that, the only thing that I've experienced being here is probably like, that slight, like, kind of like, why are you here, probably. The cops, because I just don't know where that came from. And I guess the guy that that just got up because I sat next to him. I still can't believe he did that. But anyway, I think that's probably like all I have on anything kind of like, if you want to say like kind of bad or whatever. But I've never been like, I'm not gonna serve him, or I'm not gonna do this for him, or I'm not gonna do that just because he's black or anything like that. So that's still a good thing. But yeah, just trying to press on and just hope that from here on out that everything just gets better and better and better. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.